signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves that had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. But 100 years later, we must face the tragic fact that the Negro is still not free. But 100 years later, the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. In a sense, we have come to our nation's capital to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which all Americans would fall heir. This note was a promise that all men would be guaranteed the inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But there's something that I must say to my people who stand on the warm threshold of justice. We must not be guilty of wrongful deeds. And let us not drink from the cup of bitterness and hatred. We cannot walk alone. We cannot turn back. There are those who are asking the devotees of civil rights, when will you be satisfied? We will never be satisfied as long as our bodies, heavy with the fatigue of travel, cannot gain lodging in the motels of the highways and the hotels of the city. We will never be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. I have a dream today. I have a dream that my four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream that even in the state of Alabama, whose governor's lips are presently dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, will be transformed into a situation where little black boys and little black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and little white girls and walk and talk as sister and brother. This is our hope, and this is our faith. This is the faith with which I return to the South. With this faith, we'll be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we'll be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we'll be able to work together, to walk together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that one day we will be free. And if America is to become a great nation, then this must become true. Let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the hiding Alleghanies of Pennsylvania. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. On every mountainside, let freedom ring. And when we let freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, every state and every city, then we'll be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men, white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of that old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
This time is really unique before babies let them voice and sing to remain seated.
Spirit of the ancestors, calling my name. Spirit of the ancestors, calling my name. Ancestral spirits who lived long ago, who might you have been had you known what I know? From the universe through the ages, through time and space, envisioning you, I see my face. We are one with destiny, past, present, future, infinity. Generations to come, our children's children will be reflections of you, reflecting through me. Ancestral spirits, your shadow knows, the closer I get to the light, the stronger it grows. Now, it's my time to get it right. It's my time to stand in front of the light. Spirit of the ancestors, calling my name. Spirit of the ancestors, calling my name. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
They said I wouldn't make it. They said I wouldn't be here today. They said I'd never amount to anything. But I'm glad to say that I'm on my way, and I'm growing more and more each day. You see, there were many that started out with me, but they're now all gone astray. But I'm still holding on. I'm still holding on. I'm still holding on to his hand. You see, when I was young and I gave God my hand and I asked God to lead the way, though the road has been rough and the going's been mighty tough, I'm here and I'm going nowhere. But you see, I was criticized, oh, I was talked about. But with God leading my hand, I'm moving on. but I'm still holding on, and I'm still holding on. I'm still holding on to his hand.
Good morning, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, students, and friends. Welcome to Thomas Nelson Community College, and thank you for joining us on this auspicious occasion. Today we honor the legacy of an outstanding individual, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., with the awarding of the 7th Annual Presidential Leadership Award. This award recognizes an individual in our midst who exemplifies the characteristics of Dr. King, who is an outstanding community leader and who is an important role model for us as students. Martin Luther King Jr. has now been dead longer than he lived, but during his short lifetime, he lived an extraordinary life. At 33, he was pressing the case of civil rights. At 34, he galvanized the nation with his I Have a Dream speech. At 35, he won the Nobel Peace Prize. And at 39, he was assassinated. But he left a legacy of hope and inspiration that continues to this day. One of Dr. King's famous quotes was, "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" His commitment to doing for others, in addition to his distinguished leadership, guided the selection of this year's Presidential Leadership Award. During his lifetime, Dr. King was essentially unmatched in his ability to articulate the crucial issues and concerns of humanity with his genuine prophetic voice, using wording and imagery drawn from his deep study of Scripture. And today, here in the Mary T. Christian Auditorium, we honor the memory of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. with the presentation of the Presidential Leadership Award to Mr. Keith Cephus, award-winning photographer, philanthropist, and community leader. As you will see from the short video of Mr. Cephus' portfolio and hear from the remarks that follow from our President, Dr. John T. Dever, Mr. Cephus has not only been a direct beneficiary of the world that Dr. King made possible, fully using his talents to achieve notable personal and professional success, but he's also been an outstanding exemplar and professional success of the charitable and courageous values that made Dr. King the hero he is for all of us. Following the video presentation, the next voice you will hear will be that of Dr. John T. Dever, President of Thomas Nelson Community College, who will present Mr. Cephus with the 7th Annual Presidential Leadership Award. Thank you.
welcome today. Thank you so much for coming out to this special event at Thomas Nelson Community College. We're pleased that we have some special guests in the audience I'd like to acknowledge. We have Sheila Knoll here, who is a supervisor for York County. Appreciate your being here, Sheila. Thank you. I saw coming in, I believe, Dr. Turner Spencer, former councilman for the city of Hampton and president of the Thomas Nelson Community College Educational Foundation, and former colleague of mine here as a faculty member at Thomas Nelson Community College. Christine Gertley, college board member, representing the city of Newport News. We had Sharon Kendrick representing the office of Congressman Scott Riegel. Shannon, if you were here, thank you for coming. And two special guests of Mr. Cephus, Deb and Grant Carey, photographers with the city of Newport News. Thank you all for being here and sharing this special occasion with Keith. Well, every year, Thomas Nelson Community College acknowledges individuals who reflect the characteristics of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. with the Presidential Leadership Award. As you have heard and just seen, this year's recipient, Keith Cephus, is a renowned photographer who has received national and international recognition. Not only is his passion for photography obvious, but his passion for humanity is reflected throughout his outstanding work. Cephus, again, as is so clear from what we've seen, follows his heart with every shot, taking artistic risks to capture the perfect image. Those perfect risks have turned into a stellar portfolio filled with more than 4,500 photos published nationally, including 30 national magazine covers. The Hampton Roads-based photographers' clientele includes President Barack Obama, R&B singer Toni Braxton, actor Shamar Moore, and countless professional athletes. Keith, after seeing what I've seen up there, you might even be able to make me look pretty good. Cephus uses his time away from photography to give back to the community. A retired chief petty officer, he coaches community youth basketball and serves as a mentor for area students. He was the keynote speaker at Thomas Nelson's 2011 Black History Month celebration and has mentored former Thomas Nelson students. He also teaches workshops and is planning to sponsor photography camp for underprivileged children. He's a member of the Academic Review Board for the Art Institute of Virginia Beach and a member of the Wedding and Portrait Photographers International and the Professional Photographers of America. Students in the Thomas Nelson Photography Program, whose work is now on display in the lobby here of Templin Hall, can take particular inspiration from the professional and personal success of Keith Cephus. He is an exemplar of what we strive for all Thomas Nelson Community College students to be: productive and contributing members to the larger community. On behalf of our students, the College Board, the faculty and staff, I am pleased to award the 7th Annual Presidential Leadership Award to Mr. Keith Cephus. Keith?
What an honor. Sir, thank you for that amazing introduction. I'm truly humbled by your words. Just want to take a deep breath and just absorb this all in. God is good. I'm extremely honored and humbled to be the 7th recipient of the Thomas Nelson Community College Leadership Award. I'd like to take the time to thank Dr. Dever, Honorable Congressman Bobby Scott, Alicia Riley, distinguished guests, faculty, students, and my amazing wife, Nadine, and I love you, sister Kim, who came down from D.C. When I was a young man in my early 20s, I had a dream. My dream was to have a better way of life. As an inner city kid from Yonkers, New York, with 2 sisters being raised by a single mother, life was difficult and full of struggles. With gang violence, drugs, and theft at an all-time high, I decided to pay a visit to the Navy recruiter to seek greener pastures. After working in numerous restaurants, recruiter Chief Holiday, I still remember his name, felt that the mess management program was a perfect fit for me. He assured me if I finished #1 in my class, that I would get a job at the White House working for the president. That was truly music to my ears. At that point, I said with conviction, sign me up. As I reported to the USS Midway, CB-41 in Yokosuka, Japan in 1987, my chief made me the night baker. My responsibilities as the night baker consisted of baking bread, pastries, cinnamon rolls, donuts for the crew of 5,000 sailors. That was a far cry from the White House promise that my recruiter made. We'll save that story for another day. Visiting ports like Paris, Milan, Greece, and Spain enabled me to photograph amazing documentary and still photos. In fact, one of my photos that I took in Mombasa, Kenya, won an honorable mention in a local photography competition. Who knew that one day a hobby and a dream would one day become a reality? Inspired by my travels in Europe, I had this thirst to become a fashion photographer and to see my work published in magazines across the country. For hours at a time, I would frequent bookstores and gaze at work as celebrity photographers, Patrick DeMarchier, Herb Ritz, and the infamous Gordon Parks. I was in awe with the way that these photographic icons captured their subjects with sheer opulence and elegance. So one day I got the nerve to reach out to Darlene Stevenson, director of John Casablanca Modeling Agency, to do some test shots with her model. As I entered her agency, the once confident photographer got a serious dose of humble pie. The work on her walls were amazing. I was totally stunned. As she perused my portfolio, I began to get nervous. It was the first experience of rejection that I've experienced in my photographic journey. She persecuted every page of my portfolio from top to bottom in relentless abandon. I was demoralized, dejected, humiliated, humbled in every sense of the word. She was relentless in her approach and gave me the wake-up call I so needed. A part of me wanted to quit as my photographic confidence was shattered. But then I gained strength from Dr. Martin Luther King to follow my dream and never quit. One of his most provocative messages was the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in the moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of controversy and challenge. This was truly a challenging time for me. In 1993, my sister Tracy introduced me to the illustrious hair industry. She got me a modeling gig at Dudley Products in Kernersville, North Carolina. It was here when I met celebrity hairstylist Barry Fletcher, who became my mentor. The light began to shine. I witnessed incredible teamwork, impeccable makeup application, stunning fashions, gorgeous models, and unbelievable photography. I was like a kid in a candy store. For the first time in my life, I had access to a fragment of my dream. I knew if I worked hard and stayed the course, the dream of becoming a renowned fashion photographer was feasible. Just like Gordon Parks, who became the first African-American photographer to grace the covers of Life magazine, or Patrick DeMartier, who just photoed endless covers of Vogue, Vanity Fair, and Rolling Stones. Skill set plus mindset equals unlimited. This was the mission statement I began to perpetuate in my mind. I knew that I had to become a leader of men. Just as Martin Luther King led the march from Selma to Montgomery, so that blacks can have the right to vote. Now it was my time to lead and to create my own movement. My goal was to get the right mix of artists to buy into my vision. So I went to work. I followed the blueprints of my Dudley experience and my tour to Europe. I needed to put together a team with the skill set as well as the mindset. So I recruited makeup artists Elizabeth McCoy and Valerie Tavern, whose work was truly amazing. Then hairstylists Patrick Bradley, Lamont Wagstaff, Joy Wallace, Ray Parker, and Mandy Hawkins were added to my mix. The pieces were coming together. This was the inception of the new styling team phenomenon called the Hampton Roads Image Makers. My dream was slowly becoming a reality. After the Hampton Roads Image Makers' first shoot, we landed the cover of Shop Talk magazine out of Chicago. In 3 years, we had over 20 national magazine covers and countless editorial spreads. We took the hair industry by storm. In fact, hair care companies would hire us to overhaul their product line with huge budgets. This was unreal. I couldn't believe this was happening. We created so much momentum on a national level that Upscale magazine hired me to be their art director. The buzz hit locally as the Virginia Pilot did an editorial feature on us in the Sunday newspaper. Then we hit the big screen with back-to-back features with Sandra Parker from WVEC 13, and Connie Allen with Wavy TV 10. From fashion, my brand grew into shooting celebrity sports, destination weddings, food photography, national billboards, and the President of the United States, Barack Obama. In addition, I was selected in 2011 to shoot the Pro Bowl in Honolulu, Hawaii. Receiving this award is truly a blessing that I will treasure for the rest of my life. I am honored to follow the footsteps of those who preceded me, such as the Honorable Congressman Bobby Scott, Barbara Sierra, Honorable Gene Zidler, and Senator Mamie Locke, just to name a few. Thank you all for your steadfast leadership. Receiving this award gives me the platform to continue to inspire the next generation of photographers. I am living proof that all things are possible through hard work, determination, and perspiration. I'm just an ordinary man trying to do extraordinary things. Socrates once said, "Only as high can I reach can I grow. Only as far as I seek can I go. Only as deep as I look I can see. Only as much as I dream I can be." Thank you. Thank you all again. I appreciate it. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cephus, and thank you for reflecting on how you achieved your dream. Certainly a testimony to how we can continue to strive to achieve our own dreams. This has been truly a wonderful celebration despite the weather outside. I don't know about you, but I have thoroughly enjoyed this occasion, commemorating the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King and honoring one who is truly deserving in our midst, Mr. Keith Cephus. This concludes our program. However, on the Canopy campus, however, the celebration will continue at the historic Triangle campus. Mr. Cephus will have a few moments more with us before he leaves for the historic Triangle campus for a meet and greet. Thank you all for coming, and please continue to follow and strive for your dreams.